My beloved child, pause for a moment and really listen, because something in the unseen has shifted in your favor. This isn't random, and it isn't just a feeling. It's a divine reset with your name on it. The battles that boxed you in, the waters that tried to drown you, the roaring waves that scared you, at my word they turned. I didn't ask for permission to step in. I spoke, the current reversed, and it obeyed. You are not drifting toward danger anymore, child. You are being carried by a current of victory I set in motion for you. This isn't a slow pull, it's a strong push. I didn't wait for your strength to grow. I moved ahead of your ability and turned the flood that tried to bury you into the wave that lifts you. I'm not finished. I'm only beginning. I'm gathering everything that resisted you and turning it into fuel for your breakthrough. You don't have to keep thrashing. Stay surrendered. The direction has changed. Where panic used to own your nights, peace is taking over. Where delay felt like drowning, you're about to breathe momentum. Hear this now. Not later, not tomorrow, now. You are not going under. You are not stuck in the storm. You are rising on top of it because I command the winds and waves, and I've told the chaos to carry you instead of crush you. I'm guiding you toward a sunrise you were too tired to imagine. It begins the moment you believe the tide has turned. Don't stare at the waters that moved. Walk through. This isn't the moment to freeze at the edge. Step into the space fear used to fill. I've cleared the path. Every step ahead rests on foundations I designed long before your trial began. This isn't borrowed ground or lucky timing. It's holy ground, made by my promises and set beneath your weary feet. That tremble you feel isn't doubt, it's the weight of glory you're stepping into. I didn't part this path to impress you. I parted it to lead you somewhere essential. Every lie that said your future was lost has been swallowed by the same sea that tried to block you. Put your foot down with faith. The ground won't give way. It's held up by covenant, not by circumstance. I etched promises into this road with my own hand, promises that won't break under pressure. Take the next step. You don't need the full map. You need to know this way was opened for you. Don't lose time standing in amazement when the miracle is waiting on the other side. This urgency isn't panic, it's purpose. Move now. Heaven is ready to confirm each step you take as a response to what I've done. The time for questions is over. The time to move has arrived. With every step, fear fades, trust deepens, and my promises shift from quiet whispers to the firm floor under your breakthrough. Look under your feet. What seemed empty is shifting and sprouting with undeniable life. Even the places you wrote off, the corners you tried not to think about because they hurt too much, those are the exact places I planted restoration. Not random answers, but precise solutions matched to the tears you cried and the prayers you buried. You whispered prayers in exhaustion, unsure if they reached me. They did. Every word rose like incense, and now the first tender but powerful signs are appearing. Your waiting was never empty. That green sprout is holy. It isn't just a hint of change, it is change. Your waiting room has become a birthing room. Guard this moment, not with fear, but with awareness. It's delicate, but it isn't weak. What's beginning to grow carries your next season's abundance coded inside. Don't despise small starts. Many miss beginnings because they don't shout. But my greatest works often start quietly. I'm pointing your eyes to this sprout because it will trigger a chain of restoration through you and through your legacy. Don't trample it by rushing. Don't ignore it because it looks small. See it as my answer breaking through the surface of your life. The earth didn't make this, I did. You didn't manufacture this moment, I did. If I've caused the seed to break its shell now, then nothing you suffered was wasted. Nothing you've endured will end barren. Every tear, every question, every delay is becoming nourishment for this growth. Don't dig up in doubt what you planted in faith. Watch it, water it, speak life over it. Soon that small green proof will become a garden that announces what I can do with someone who chose to believe when nothing made sense. This is no longer just hope. This is harvest. Now that my work is surfacing, those who watched your struggle with smug certainty will realize they misread the story. They mocked your pauses, laughed at your waiting, and mistook your silence for defeat, but they never accounted for my timing. I didn't defend you with public arguments because I wanted your vindication to be undeniable. It has begun. I never needed to argue on your behalf when I could make your life the evidence. Those who labeled you finished will watch your unfolding, and it will quiet every accusation. Their voices were loud in your mind, weren't they? Hear me. I am breaking the weight of every word they spoke. Declarations of your failure are evaporating in the light of your testimony. The same mouths that cursed you will fall silent, not because you sought revenge, but because I defended you in ways only I can. You won't have to fight back. You won't need to answer their words. The fruit from your obedience will speak louder than any argument. The ground under those who ridiculed you is shaky, not because you wished it, but because pride cannot stand when truth rises. Don't fix your focus on them. Lift your eyes higher. Watch me rewrite the story and reverse the verdict. This isn't about vengeance, it's about victory. Your delay wasn't denial, it was timing, and now the timing speaks for itself. Stay humble. I'm removing mockers and elevating you, and my elevation never crushes. It reveals my glory through your faithfulness. Let their taunts fade like mist. What comes next leaves no room for their noise. Keep walking. I've already hushed the crowd. Listen closely, chosen heart. A new sound is rolling through the unseen, carrying your name like a triumphant song. It's my voice, not a whisper, a clear call, shaking off the last dust of disappointment and pulling you into alignment. What looked like stuck time wasn't a glitch. It was a rest in the music I'm conducting, breaths before the next movement breaks with power. Unanswered prayers, long nights staring at the ceiling, hours that dragged. I've woven these into a rhythm so exact that even your heartbeat will soon sense fulfillment approaching. I've recalibrated the clock. While earthly hours keep their usual pace, a hidden gear has shifted, speeding up. What once crawled and turning pauses into hallways of immediate breakthrough. Don't be surprised when opportunities come clustered like a meteor shower across a dark sky. They're scheduled by my hand, landing one after another so none of your endurance is wasted. I won't let a grain of faith go unused. Feel the hum under your feet, the holy anticipation that stamps redeemed over the ledger of delays, turning setbacks into expanded capacity for blessing beyond human math. Flow with this tempo. Stop measuring progress by old calendars. Stop comparing your path to someone else's. Lift your eyes to my timeline, where I script moments with perfect insight, so arrivals meet maximum glory. A trumpet is sounding over your life. Angels moving to deliver provision, revelation, and alliance exactly when your hands are ready to steward them. Not early to tempt waste, not late to feed despair. I live outside of time. I can compress decades into a single obedient breath, and that's unfolding now. Years of intercession are converging into a near-instant cascade, like torrents racing down a mountain after a long winter thaw. Don't drag yesterday's hesitation into this accelerated present. Shake off caution pretending to be wisdom. Lean into the wind of promise and learn my rhythm. I don't improvise out of panic, I compose from mastery. I author sunrise and sunset. Nothing blooms too soon or withers too fast. It opens exactly when its fragrance will heal the widest circle around you. Tighten your expectations. Trim the wick of hope until it burns clean. Keep your inner ear tuned. The next beat is already arriving. I will keep this victorious rhythm sounding until your world starts to echo with joy. And even then, the cadence will rise again, pulling you into the next swell of grace. Feel the invisible gear shift, beloved. Heaven's clock has moved from pending to delivered in a silent click louder than any shout on earth. I, the architect of time, have cleared the backlog and stamped a new objective with your name. Even now, bright messengers sprint through radiant corridors carrying scrolls sealed for your breakthrough. Picture not cartoons, but skilled battalions moving with precision so nothing blocks what bears your name. Their wings flash with completed assignments. As they cross the skies, they gather every fragment of promise and stitch them into a banner of completion to fly over your life. My decree went first, rewriting ledgers filled with not yet into lines glowing with yes. The air around you already vibrates where that heavenly paperwork has been finalized. Expect confirmations, calls, doors opening without warning, quiet conversations shifting in your favor, systems resetting overnight. What's sealed above must show up below. Don't try to analyze this speed with yesterday's logic. Old frameworks can't explain new favor. Hesitation only pulls against the current meant to raise you. Sync your expectations, clear your schedule, make room. Prepare storage for fresh supply. The converging flow will feel overwhelming if you leave no space. Understand, deliverance isn't just escape, it's relocation. With every angelic stride, your destiny comes into focus, drawing lines where confusion once spread. Be vigilant. Align your words with hope. Your language is now a beacon, so incoming packages land in the right place. Keep cynicism out. It's contraband at these gates. If memories of failure shout, treat them like expired passports. They can't board this flight. I'm sending a cascade, not a drizzle. Support from unlikely allies. Resources through unexpected channels. Insights blossoming in ordinary moments, all in sequence to build unstoppable momentum. Steady your breathing, plant your feet. The dispatch has left the throne, and in a sweep your landscape will declare that delivered means established. This is a new crest, not the end. When confirmation arrives, an approved email, a debt erased, a medical report rewritten, don't see it as random luck. It's the opening verse of your turnaround. Turn excitement into action. Send the proposal. Make the call. Sow generosity. Each obedient move becomes a landing pad for the next blessing to arrive without turbulence. Stay awake. As the flow intensifies, drops will become a flood. When morning breaks, you'll realize the view changed while you were busy agreeing with grace. That's how heaven's timing reveals itself. Listen again, beloved. While you hear these words, waves of my yes are racing out from the place where your name is engraved, striking barriers that once looked like iron walls and cracking them from the inside. What used to require frantic pounding is now responding to a force stronger than any battering ram. My authorization moving through foundations human hands can't touch. Imagine old hinges groaning after years of stillness and finally loosening. They can't resist the order that went out the moment your name lit up on my register. Hallways you've only dreamed about, boardrooms, studios, classrooms, neighborhoods, offices, feel a vibration underfoot. Staff and gatekeepers are quietly getting ready for a guest they didn't invite but must welcome. Don't be intimidated when doors open without formal summons. This isn't cheap favoritism. It's strategic access for kingdom impact. I'm ending the lie that you must beg to be valid. I placed legitimacy in your spirit when you said yes to purpose. Now locks forged in skepticism are recalibrating to favor you. This is urgent. Linger too long and momentum leaks, so walk forward as soon as the way clears. Carry humility in one hand and bold vision in the other. Don't question whether you qualify. My inscription overrules the gaps, the shortages, the missing credentials. Picture stale air rushing out of a greenhouse when the pains finally lift. Seeds sprout in a night because the climate changed. That's what rooms are doing for you, adjusting temperature, pressure, and policy to welcome life through you. Remember, these corridors aren't for ego. They're channels where your voice, skill, and compassion will turn systems toward justice and mercy. As thresholds open, keep generosity ready like a master key. It will fit more locks than you expect. When you see unfamiliar names on agendas, don't shrink. I prepared those spaces before you knew you needed them. Let curiosity lead. Ask good questions. Listen well. Honor the house, but carry quiet confidence. The meeting is happening because heaven reserved the seat. Some rooms will look ordinary, a coffee shop, a waiting area, but the conversation inside will redirect families, businesses, even cities. Stay sensitive. A casual comment can become a turning point. I'm sending confirmation in layers. First the open door, then the welcome, then the follow-up. Each is a chord in this song. Don't grab everything at once. Discernment matters. Favor can glow around many options, but peace will rest on the one I want you to choose. Walk through that door and find supply laid out early. Plans, partners, funding, because I don't waste. Provision meets you when faith crosses thresholds. Keep your pace with wisdom, neither lagging in doubt nor sprinting ahead. More doors are on the way, each keyed to obedience. Don't stop for applause or build monuments to early wins. The ripple is still expanding, touching places you haven't seen and hearts you don't yet know. Because I wrote your name in fire and released favor to do what striving never could. Turn locked rooms into avenues of influence, not later, but now. Since you've crossed the threshold, don't just look around. Receive what's been waiting for you to open it. There's a scroll, not fragile, but alive, breathing with clarity. As you unroll it, designs appear too exact to invent. Every line pulses with authority from my throne. These aren't vague ideas, they're direct instructions for your next steps, carrying wisdom and provision together. Where you felt unequipped, where vision made your heart race but your hands feel empty, I place full strategy before you. I didn't bring you here to guess. I'm handing you a plan. Look closely. Delays, detours, heartbreaks, and quiet seasons now show as foundation points. Even confusion became preparation. Where others saw wasted time, I saw footings being poured. Etched in gold are hallways of abundance for you to walk, not just for you, but for the assignments stored in the chambers of your calling. This scroll strengthens you as you read. I'm not only telling you what to do, I'm showing you how. Instructions come with access. Purpose comes with open doors. Where you once hesitated because you lacked tools, you'll be surprised by the surplus at each turn. Investors, creative partners, skilled helpers, and unexpected allies. arriving in perfect sequence. Each line breaks the lie that you're unworthy or unprepared. I planned for every weakness you feared. I reinforced the places you thought would collapse. Build boldly. Your dream isn't fragile, it's a commission. I revealed this now because your hands are ready to steward legacy, not chase ego. Take this seriously. What I've placed in front of you calls for action, not someday, but now. Start where the scroll starts. Don't skip steps. Each section unlocks the next. You won't be overwhelmed if you follow the order. You won't be stranded mid-build if you trust my flow. I even placed rest stops and joy-filled pauses so you don't burn out. This won't be built by panic. It will be built by surrendered follow-through. Keep the scroll close and visit it daily. Fresh light will rise each time. Some parts you'll grasp right away. Others will unfold right when you need them. All of it was written for you. No borrowed lines, no leftovers from someone else's story. This design fits your hands, your heart, your timing, your impact. When you said yes to me, I began writing it. Now is the time to open it wide. Study it like a lifeline, and build without fear, knowing heaven has already resourced what earth hasn't seen yet. You're not building blind, you're executing destiny, and this scroll is your proof. Turn every part of you toward this news. Invisible caravans loaded with tailored supply are cresting your horizon. They carry more than relief. They carry a spark that turns your story into a channel of freedom for many. You once tallied bills, obligations, and unmet dreams with a hard knot in your throat, wondering if life would always orbit barely enough. Tonight, that orbit breaks. I've summoned storehouses that stayed shut to lesser requests and commanded them to send cargo made for your empty corners. Skill sets, insight, friendships, finances, resilience, even strength you thought age had taken. Understand this. I don't send surplus just to cover personal need. I release overflow to launch movements. The windfall comes coated with assignments bigger than comfort, and its force will push you outward to underserved streets, tense boardrooms, and digital spaces full of confusion, where your fresh testimony will unlock hope in people afraid to hope. The timetable is fast. You'll feel the ground shift like a dam bursting upstream and a river carrying you farther than a decade of hustle. Answer quickly when invitations come, because each open door, even the small ones, triggers chains of change in neighborhoods you've never walked, classrooms you've never seen, and councils writing policies that bend toward justice because a voice of compassion entered the room. Don't shrink under influence. The hand that fills your cup also forged your backbone. I'm not lifting you to parade wealth. I'm showing what radical generosity looks like when fueled by heaven. Picture fields dying in drought, drenched by a thunderstorm. That's what your obedience will look like. Thirsty hearts soaking up hope because you chose to circulate what I placed in your care. Organize quickly, make action plans, delegate well, set guardrails against greed, keep honest counsel around you. Stewardship keeps the flow healthy. Stay alert to voices of fear telling you to hoard. Those whispers smell like scarcity and sound like old pain, but they have no authority here. I've shifted the economy of your life from fear-based stockpiling to mercy-driven distribution. In my math, what love releases multiplies. Watch how a simple yes, groceries for a stranger, seed for a classroom, launching a venture that dignifies the overlooked, sparks ripples across places you may never visit. I will conduct every ripple. A student across the world will read your testimony and choose purpose. A retiree will fund new builders after hearing your story. A leader will reform policies because your work revealed forgotten people. Many wins you won't see, but each is recorded in my eternal archive. Breathe deep. Square your shoulders. March into this season of abundant mission. Old anxieties fade like morning fog. They don't belong in rooms where new futures are drafted. I am replacing your late-night lists of lack with blueprints. Distribution hubs, scholarships, rescue homes, healing technologies, and art that wakes the soul. As you move, strength will rise where fatigue lived, because purpose fuels you like nothing else. Keep going. Every hour matters, and many are ready for freedom because you refuse to treat blessing as a trophy and chose to use it as a baton in a relay of redemption that doesn't slow until every last one comes home. Stop what's in your hand and lean in. The atmosphere is thinning like the air right before a rocket fires, and you need to be ready for quick ascent. Every yes you whisper, whether quiet in your heart or bold in front of skeptics, releases lift designed to counter the downward pull that kept you circling low places of regret. Think of a young eagle learning that the same wind that could slam it into rock becomes power when wings stretch. That's what I'm doing. Turning hard memories, old abandonment, and harsh inner words into warm currents. When you agree with me, the rules shift. Drag gives way to lift, and you feel buoyant where you used to feel heavy. Notice how yesterday's compromises feel lighter, like chains changing into balloons. That's not pretend. It's a real shift in your inner world that happens when your will aligns with my momentum. Keep answering me quickly. Obedience is like wing beats. Stalling makes you lose height. A steady rhythm carries you into higher air where old structures can't hold. From that view, choices that felt tangled separate into clear paths. Obstacles reveal gaps carved by grace. Refuse to stare back at the valley. Nostalgia for familiar prisons pretends to comfort, but offers no safety. Fix your eyes on the widening horizon where assignments sparkle like constellations waiting for your path. Pack humility as your oxygen. Pride can't breathe up here. Clip gratitude on like a stabilizer, so the turbulence of sudden favor doesn't spin you out. Remember, the higher you go, the farther your voice carries. Let your testimony travel, not to spotlight you, but to magnify the arrow of my rescue, not the one who steered the lift. I'll place refueling points, moments of worship, wise counsel, and revelation, so you don't stall. If crosswinds of criticism hit, tuck into the slipstream of peace. Turbulence can't last where calm rules. Keep your ears open for my quick directions. Shift here, wait there, bank left. Those small moves protect you from storms outside your sight. You'll feel a new joy, the kind that makes even tired bones feel light. Because obedience releases strength words can't explain. Keep a notebook close. Strategies will arrive mid-flight. Ideas, songs, solutions, and designs to rescue people still trudging through valleys you left. Every yes today multiplies lift for tomorrow and helps you pull others upward. Now watch how the haze ahead parts to show something beautiful. Connections you thought were broken for good are being mended behind the scenes. From this height, you'll see a bridge, bright and steady, stretching over places that used to be full of hurt, silence, and confusion. You didn't build this with effort. It took alignment. Because you obeyed, the structure is done. I'm restoring what was stolen, not as it was, but better, wiser, stronger. Relationships crushed by betrayal, misunderstanding, or distance aren't beyond my reach. I allowed space so healing could grow where pride and pain had rooted deep. Now, reconnection is on the schedule, not to reopen old wounds, but to complete the purpose of those bonds. People you thought were closed chapters will appear as pages rewritten. Come to this bridge without blame. Walk with humility, knowing I've worked in them as I've worked in you. You aren't who you were, and neither are they. It won't look like before, and that's the miracle. I whispered to them when no one knew, just as I prepared your heart to forgive. Be ready. You may hear apologies you never expected. You may receive messages full of clarity and truth. In some cases, I'll ask you to send the first word, not to stir pain, but to bless. This bridge isn't only for comfort, it's for kingdom work. There are assignments waiting on the other side of healed connections, missions that paused until healing came. I'm not just giving you people, I'm restoring purpose through people. You'll find teammates where there was tension, intercessors where there were accusers, covenant where there was conflict. Don't rehearse the past, respond well in the present. Guard your mouth with mercy, your heart with discernment. Move with wisdom, not walls. As you cross, watch walls become doorways. Old strain will give birth to new trust. Tears will come, holy release. Pauses will hang heavy with understanding. Let it flow. Let me finish what I started. You'll witness not just relationships restored, but destiny realigned. You weren't made to walk alone forever. The higher I lift you, the clearer it becomes who was always meant to walk beside you, after I shaped you both in secret. Keep flying, keep listening. The bridge is in place, and reconciliation is already meeting your feet. Lean closer. This next move is immediate, like warmth flushing through cold veins, and it touches the buried moments you tiptoed around for years. The memories that made you flinch are opening to my light. I've turned the key on an inner room you didn't know was there, an archive guarded by regret. As the lock clicks, watch my light wash over what you called failure, showing a new view you couldn't see when the wound was fresh. Stains that once defined whole chapters are dissolving under my compassion. What remains is not a record of disgrace, but a display of endurance. I've assigned angels to tend this gallery so others, family, friends, even strangers, can walk through the story of your past and find hope instead of gossip. Even the darkest halls echo with music now. Fear has been evicted, replaced by songs of rescue. I refuse to let shame write your history. I'm adding notes and context, showing how every misstep became material for my masterpiece. Feel the urgency. I'm doing this in real time, changing your inner story while those who doubted you prepare to watch a premiere they never saw coming. Your life glowing with proof that no stain is too deep for me to restore. Stand tall when the light finds you. Don't look down or apologize your story away. Lift your chin and let redeemed memory breathe. Vulnerability, guided by my spirit, becomes a lighthouse for wanderers trapped in secrecy. Your testimony will be a compass pointing them toward the same vault of healing I opened for you. Be ready. Opportunities will come quickly. Podcasts, coffee talks, quiet prayers in grocery aisles, moments where your freshly polished story fits like a key in someone else's lock. Speak with honesty, not contempt for who you were. Honor the journey by celebrating how I stepped in. I'm sending courageous listeners. People who scoffed will lean in, surprised by gentleness from a place they assumed was still raw. Some will cry. Some will change their minds about me. Let them. Their tears are water for seeds sprouting under the surface. Each time you share what I've repaired, the story will shine with new angles, like a gem turning in fresh light. Because timing is everything, and now the clock is striking reveal for my glory. Pace yourself. Authenticity is weighty. I won't let transparency exhaust you. Between moments, I'll draw you aside to breathe in peace and refill courage. This unveiling is a chapter, not the end. More vaults will open. For now, enjoy the freedom of clean pages and the scent of guilt gone. Step into the hallway where the next door already stands ajar, glowing with possibility. We will keep moving together. Before this moment dries, watch what unfolds. I've turned those cleaned rooms into echo chambers for my glory. What once caused isolation will now create belonging. Your simple, redeemed words will find hearts hardened by quiet pain. Some have been walking with a limp, never admitting it, and their steps slowed, their worship dimmed, their hope shrank into routine. When they hear you speak, unpolished but steady, the impact will be electric. It won't be hype. It will be authority that comes from walking through a storm and coming out transformed. You'll be surprised how ordinary moments become lightning rods. Telling your story in a car, sharing tears over coffee. Hearts dulled by fatigue will wake like soil after spring's first rain. Ground they thought too hard to grow on will soften at your witness. This won't stop with individuals. I'm stirring a collective surge. Courage in one will jump to another, and the air around you will shift like a wildfire of holy memory across dry fields. You won't be the only one speaking. Others will rise, quiet voices finding their sound. People who stayed silent will say, "He did it for me too." Testimony will become harmony, voices layered with one song: rescue, mercy, resurrection. No one will control it. I will. I'm forming a choir of the rescued, not rehearsed, but real. Their voices won't be the same, and that's the beauty. Every tone joining into a sound hell fears, the sound of the unashamed. In that chorus, your voice will grow stronger, not for approval, but because you'll know you're not alone. The echo of others being set free by your yes will fuel your next steps. You were never meant to carry this alone. Solitude was for a season, to press out oil, but not forever. Now the release has begun. The oil flows over you and through you to others. Soon you'll see your private cry become a public chorus. Strangers will walk in freedom you prayed for in secret. Children will repeat declarations you whispered through tears. Homes, churches, hospitals, and street corners will change, not from big productions, but from honest stories and lived worship. You are no longer a lone voice in the desert. You are part of a wave rolling through dry bones, calling life from ashes. Don't hold back when it feels big. I'll tell you when to speak and when to simply be present. Some days you'll sing, some days you'll listen. Either way, the harmony will rise, and I will dwell in the sound. Keep moving. Someone is already leaning in, ready to find courage in your release, and soon their voice will join the song that never ends. Feel the shift right now, quiet but unstoppable, as the sound of free hearts flows past stages and screens into the places you've prayed over for years. See it travel like a fragrance into halls thick with tension, under doors locked by pride, across kitchen tables marked by arguments, into bedrooms where anxious minds rehearsed worst-case endings. This music is my tool, tuned to heal specific wounds in each home. Where criticism once bounced off walls, my rhythm now soaks the room with calm. Where panic sat like dust, my chorus sweeps in like a fresh wind, clearing the air so dreams can breathe. You'll get messages, texts and calls about family members meeting, apologies offered, neighbors sharing instead of competing. When these arrive, recognize the source. This is the echo of the choir I raised from your testimony, an answer to prayers you cried at the edge of giving up. Don't downplay the everyday miracles. Every handshake, shared meal, and restful sleep is proof I am composing healing in real time, and it won't stop with homes. The same harmony will jump city grids, slip into apartments, and glide through office cubicles where rivalry sits silent. Schools will feel curiosity rise, hospital wings will record calmer days. Even prisons will notice unusual peace during visits. When I conduct, walls cooperate, spirits yield, and peace multiplies without asking permission from old gatekeepers. Stay attentive. I'll nudge you to reinforce the harmony with spoken blessing in specific places. Your living room, a coworker's desk, a community center door. Respond quickly. Your voice, seasoned by victory, acts like a tuning fork, lining up the space with heaven's key. Keep worship flowing where you can, but remember, the true resonance lives in you. Carry it into grocery lines, onto buses, through calls and meetings. Let your presence become a quiet sanctuary people step into without knowing why. When conflict sparks, don't panic. Lift an inner hymn, and I will weave it into the score, softening tempers before harsh words explode. This is only the first wave. More are on the way, rolling over places you've never been, drawn by the gravity of my joy inside you. Guard that joy, protect it from despair and cynicism. The song needs a willing vessel to travel farther. Stay yielded, and I'll keep amplifying until peace saturates every space I've assigned to your care. And even as that work advances, the cadence will map new routes, colonizing unrest with calm long after these words end. Feel the solid ground rising under your spirit, a fortress of peace around your thoughts and emotions. These walls aren't for hiding. They're a command post for courage, strong against anxiety, and open wide for favor. Picture bronze-rimmed gates open, lanterns lit on watchtowers, heralds shouting updates as caravans of possibility thunder toward you, contracts that stalled are moving again, roles you didn't apply for, allies you didn't expect, breakthroughs you didn't plan, closing the distance so quickly that hesitation can't catch them. Cynicism can't cling to these bright walls. Instead, the courtyard buzzes with purpose, scribes copying fresh assignments, quartermasters laying out resources tailored for each venture at the gate. This is not chaos, it's precision moving at the speed of my intent. Stay alert, eyes on the horizon, heart steady. The order matters. Some opportunities require immediate yes. A sudden call, a chance meeting that becomes a partnership before the day ends. Others will linger just long enough to gather counsel and shoot forward like arrows from a strong bow. Discouragement will try a final ambush, saying this is too good to be true or too heavy to carry. Ignore it. By the time doubt reaches the gate, the cargo will be inside, counted, and already fueling the work I wrote into your life. Be vigilant, not tense. Peace is your shield now. It lets inspiration in and keeps dread out. Walk the ramparts morning and night with gratitude on your lips. Gratitude keeps the drawbridge low for real blessing and lifts it quickly against manipulation. When night comes, rest without clutching fear of loss. I've stationed watchmen unseen by human eyes. Warriors whose steps echo through the halls, proof that your tomorrow is guarded. I'll keep calling in more caravans, new ideas, healed connections, financial wells, fresh joy. Each arrival will link with the last, building a supply line that carries you far past survival into generous influence. Receive this quickly. Don't overthink every detail. Overthinking is slower than opportunity. Answer fast. Steward well. Remember, this fortress isn't to isolate you from the world, but to empower you to serve it with unshakable calm. The drawbridge is down. The road is clear. Hear the hoofbeats. They're already at the edge. Step forward and meet them before the echo fades. Stay alert, because silhouettes are cresting the hill, messengers with crystal cases. When they reach you, the cases dissolve and living parchments unfurl, sparkling like stars across midnight. Each path is tuned to the pace you learned in surrender. No dragging, no frantic sprinting, just the easy push of heaven's wind at your back. One scroll points to a morning conversation where one sentence will unlock buried creativity in someone vital to your mission. Another points to a small kindness that triggers a chain reaction in a whole neighborhood. Don't compare assignments. There's no ranking, only synergy. Each task is a gear in a perfectly timed watch, and my spirit is the master setting them moving at the moment of highest impact. You'll marvel at the precision, context confirming content, yesterday's obedience funding tomorrow's step, insights from a sleepless night, solving a problem weeks later. This choreography isn't random. It's eternal wisdom meeting present need. Treat every scroll with respect and urgency. Read, pause, breathe, move. Don't second guess. You'll feel the wind nudge you through thresholds that used to demand sheer force. Stay teachable. Some steps will seem backward. Wait when you're eager. Advance when caution screams. Trust the design. It cuts unseen drag. Keep tools nearby. Journal, voice notes, calendar. Because details can arrive at odd hours, and writing them guards clarity from distraction. Finishing one directive releases a pulse that sends the next courier, preventing backlog. If you miss a step, don't fear. Repentance resets the cadence, and fresh wind catches your stride. Above all, breathe gratitude like oxygen. Every thank you expands your lungs for bigger assignments, without choking your vision. Soon you'll realize you're no longer counting steps, you're gliding on invisible currents, free to watch miracles sprout behind your obedience. Analysts will call it strategy. You'll know it's simply reading the next line on the scroll carried by my breath. Now walk forward steadily. The road ahead won't demand the anxious planning that drained you. I'm introducing my provision cycle. Supply that appears exactly when obedience places your foot where I told you. Not early to feed control, not late to test survival. What lands in your hand may not look fancy, but it will be exact, like manna in the wilderness, daily, enough, and sacred. Each resource carries my signature, so you know heaven measured every step and portion with care. This will protect your mission from turning into a scramble for self-preservation. The days of hoarding, just in case, are over. Trust's rhythm will replace the noise of contingency. The backpack you stuffed with anxiety will be replaced with open hands ready to receive in real time. Morning favor will drop through a phone call. Afternoon encouragement will arrive through someone you barely know. Night wisdom will pour like cool water on tired thoughts, turning confusion into plan. All of it will be timed by my faithfulness, not your urgency. Let this free you. You're not responsible to manufacture momentum. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. You're responsible to walk faithfully. As you do, I'll fund what I formed. You won't only see provision for your needs, you'll carry enough to share. That's the mystery of my economy. It multiplies in motion. Hoarded, it goes stale. Given, it expands. Don't be shocked when what you hold stretches beyond logic. One idea funding a project, one conversation unlocking years, one obedient moment breaking poverty cycles in families you'll never meet. I'm releasing to those who won't idolize the gift, but will carry it to others. When people ask how you always have enough, you'll point not to effort, but to the invisible hand that places what's needed right on time. You won't scramble or compromise your values to gain. You'll move freely because lack has lost its grip. Scarcity will no longer set your pace. The margins that shouted will quiet. The mission that felt far will feel near. I'll keep sending, keep preparing. The miracle is already en route. Brace yourself now. What's rushing into view was not denied, only delayed until the season could hold it. Visions you filed away, ideas you whispered to me, plans that felt too bold and too big. I am raising them now, not as fantasies, but as funded reality. I saw you scale back to survive. I watched you shrink budgets in money, emotion, and faith to soften the sting of disappointment. That tight season is giving way to flow. Surplus won't be a concept. It will become a steady feel of my delight in your obedience. You'll notice overflow without striving. It will rise as you walk in step with me. Like streams forming when the ground is saturated. Projects once labeled unrealistic will come within reach. Places you thought were out of range will call your name. Resources and permissions you assumed would take decades will arrive in moments, sometimes without a clear reason. This isn't luck. It's stored reward being released for every time you said not now to ambition, so you could say yes to me. I kept track. I am opening the storehouse, and it's not just for you. This is layered abundance into community centers, creative work, education, healing, and places you haven't imagined yet. Your cup will overflow so fully that even the saucer will soak the ground where others stand thirsty. Understand, the dreams that felt too extravagant weren't just yours. They were shared plans. I whispered them because I trusted you with heaven's vision that needed time to mature. You're not stepping into indulgence, you're stepping into inheritance. I'm not funding ego, I'm financing impact. Let go of the old fear that rising means selfishness. Silence the inner voice that says blessing always corrupts. I am with you. I'll keep your heart clean while I enlarge your reach. Let your imagination stretch again under my lead. Reopen journals, revisit sketches, dust off proposals. Revise them now, this time from surplus, not scarcity. Build for longevity and meaning, not just survival. Plant trees whose shade will cover your children's children. When it feels heavy, remember, I never gave you a dream I wouldn't equip. It felt like too much because you hadn't received what I'm releasing now. This is your new rhythm. No more crouching at the edges. Stand wide in the center of my provision. Where there was guesswork, there will be strategy. Where there was delay, there will be motion. Where there was rationing, there will be release. Let overflow speak for itself. It will tell every doubter and every old version of you that you were always chosen for more. Hear me clearly. What I'm giving isn't luxury for status, it's generous supply for multiplied compassion. In my kingdom, excess isn't wasted, it's placed. I chose you because your heart bends to give, not grasp. This new level carries instructions. It isn't meant to sit, it's meant to move. As you receive, you'll feel led to release. Each obedient release opens another cycle of capacity and reach. What leaves your hand in love returns multiplied, not only in size, but in eternal value. See everything through this lens. The home I'm bringing isn't just shelter. It's a sanctuary, a place of restoration. The influence I'm expanding isn't for applause. It's for opening doors for the locked out. The surplus I'm pouring in isn't for display. its seed for barren ground. Watch what happens when you sow without fear. Widows will be sustained, orphans covered, visionaries launched, communities healed, old systems shaken. Because one person believed overflow is for transformation. Some won't understand, some will criticize, others will envy. Don't let their responses bend your posture. You answer to me. I know why I chose you. You gave when it hurt, you prayed while bleeding, you lifted tired arms for others. That's why I trust you now. I will teach you to manage this wave with wisdom, how to spot counterfeits and find my assignments. I'll help you say yes generously and no graciously. You won't be manipulated. My voice will be louder than the noise of need. Where I lead you to pour, miracles will erupt. Places stuck for generations will bloom because you released what the world told you to grip. And this is only the start. The more you trust me with what I put in your hands, the more I trust you with what I hold. There is no limit to what I can channel through someone who won't worship the blessing. Let this be your rhythm. Receive freely, give boldly, rest joyfully, repeat constantly. Blessing will chase you down, not for vanity, but because your heart matches mine. That's true extravagance in my economy. Love so abundant it spills over, heals wounds, builds futures, and echoes forever. Keep your eyes on me and I'll keep the flow. Steady, clear, unstoppable. Now feel this next wave move, not to your hands, but deep inside, to the places you hid, even from yourself. These are the wounds nobody saw. The fears you masked with performance, the disappointments you buried under "I'm fine." I never missed them. I saw when betrayal pierced you and you smiled anyway. I saw how loss moved through you like a cold wind, and still you kept going as if nothing had broken. I heard the ache you never said out loud, the questions that sat on your chest in the dark. Why did that happen? Why didn't you stop it? Why does it still hurt? This is the moment you've been waiting for, even if you didn't know how to ask for it. Healing is here. Not loud, not dramatic. A steady kindness is moving straight toward the places that hurt the most. You will not have to rehearse what wounded you for it to be undone. You don't need perfect words. I am not asking you to perform. I am asking for your permission. If you'll let me in, even with a whisper, I will move into the hidden places like warm oil, finding every crack in your memory. I'm not here to erase your story. I'm here to restore it. The memories may stay, but the sting will not. Where pain once curled like smoke, clarity will settle. Where grief once throbbed, peace will rise. You will remember, but you will not relive. I won't just close old wounds. I will seal them so they cannot be reopened by touch, by trauma, or by time. Even your own thoughts won't be able to make them bleed again. That is the difference between comfort and my healing. Comfort tries to help you carry pain. I remove pain and put strength in its place. The same heart that used to shake will find a new rhythm, steady, joyful, free. And there is more. These healed places will not go quiet. They will become fountains. What I mend in you will multiply through you. People will hear rest in your voice and won't know why they feel safer. Your presence will change rooms because you'll carry a stillness many are craving but can't name. When someone trusts you with their sorrow, you won't be dragged back into your own. You'll be able to listen with tenderness and wisdom because your pain has been fully met by my presence. Don't fear sadness returning. Don't brace for collapse. I'm not giving temporary relief. I'm giving an ending to the bleeding. This chapter that drained you is closing. You're stepping into wholeness that doesn't depend on perfect circumstances, because it's rooted deeper than explanation. I am your healer, and I don't do anything halfway. Even as you take this in, the work has already begun. You'll notice it gently at first, less noise in your thoughts, more stillness inside. A smile you didn't have to force, an easier breath. Then, over time, you'll realize what used to feel heavy now feels light. What used to draw tears now brings understanding. And one day you'll meet someone carrying the same kind of pain you once carried, and you'll offer what time and talk alone never gave you: honest, healing presence. Let this reality sink in. Let me finish what I started. You've carried this long enough. Put it down, and I will wash over every crack, every fracture, until there's no place left untouched. I will leave no scar that shames you, only a story soaked in hope and sealed with glory. Pay attention to the urgency of this moment. I'm not only mending you so you can enjoy private relief. I am placing you as a marker that glows in the dark for people who forgot how to navigate hope. Your restored life will work like a beacon on a stormy shore, sending a steady signal that cuts through confusion and despair. People you don't know yet, co-workers, passers-by, distant relatives, even strangers scrolling a screen at 3 a.m, will feel the pull of the invitation wrapped into your presence. They'll feel thirst before they can name it, and your life will point them toward the water that revived you. Do not underestimate that pull. I'm tuning the tone of your words, your gestures, even your quiet, so thirsty hearts can sense the sound of refreshment in you. You won't need big speeches. The truth shaped in restoration will carry more weight than perfect rhetoric. When wanderers arrive, some stumbling, some running, welcome them without judgment. Remember your own confusion. Offer simple paths. This is where I found life. Come and drink. As they drink, you'll watch eyes brighten, shoulders lift, and voices find melody again. Their renewal will strengthen your own gratitude and remind you why I saved you at this exact time. Prepare yourself. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. The response won't be a trickle, it will be a tide. Crowds tired of empty promises will come looking for the real thing. Order your days wisely. Create space for listening. Keep rhythms of rest so you can pour without running dry. Build with other signposts I'm raising up so the guidance is strong and sustainable. Follow the small nudges. Sometimes I'll move you a little to the left or right so a wandering heart can catch sight of the light on you. Celebrate every connection, large or small. Each life that finds water becomes another beacon further down the road, making the path brighter for those still far away. This is how renewal spreads, through ordinary lives lit by extraordinary grace, lives like yours. Stay humble. The brightness on you is borrowed. It comes from the source, reflecting from the places I polished when I healed you. Stay close to that source: daily communion, quick gratitude, ready obedience. If you feel your light dim for a moment, come back quickly. I will restore your shine faster than doubt can gather. Remember, signposts don't rush around. They stand where they are and stay visible. Your influence will reach far past your steps, through stories, words, and echoes across screens. But the heart of your calling is presence. Steady, welcoming, unmistakable. Let the storms come. Lightning only lights up a lighthouse. Let night deepen, stars shine sharper in the dark. Each person who finds living water because you stood your ground adds another voice to the song of redemption. Stay lit, stay grounded, Stay generous. Someone is already on the horizon, looking for exactly what you now carry. Listen closely. When these thirsty ones taste the freshness you now embody, change will spread across places you thought were beyond repair. See their faces, lined by years of drought, lips cracked by unanswered prayers. One sip and their eyes widen, their shoulders lift, their breath steadies. Hope sprouts like seeds after rain, and the miracle won't stop with them. Wherever their renewed feet go, dry ground will tremble and split, releasing hidden reserves I stored for the right time. Streets held by addiction will wake to sober mornings. Classrooms stuck in cynicism will spark with ideas. Small businesses crushed by drought will be covered by clouds of favor. This chain of renewal is my design, started by a single act of compassion and meant to ripple outward until whole neighborhoods hum with possibility. Don't doubt the speed. Deserts bloom overnight when water finally comes. Hearts called hard will soften in a moment when they touch a real encounter. Some will question quick growth. Ignore the cynics. They haven't walked the dry paths these wanderers survived. Others will try to brand the flow, guard the purity of the source. Point them back to me, not to methods or personalities. Remember your role, catalyst, not celebrity, midwife, not monarch. Stay low enough to care for new growth. Encourage, pray, and celebrate every small sign until roots run deep. I will highlight pioneers among the restored who carry blueprints for their blocks. Empower them quickly. Their momentum will keep the bloom spreading while you step toward the next frontier. Expect change to move faster than systems can file. Paperwork may lag behind breakthrough, but don't fear confusion. I will raise wise stewards to guide growth with integrity. Keep your ears tuned. A gift there, an introduction here, a quiet prayer walk through a forgotten street at dawn. Each obedience releases nutrients into the soil of culture. Predators like shame and exploitation will find no prey because life will fill the corners they once controlled. Creativity, laughter, and curiosity, good things that ran from the drought, will return and balance the ecosystem of community. And when observers, media, scholars, leaders notice deserts turning green, they will ask what changed. Share your story simply and give the credit to me. I'll give you words that confound experts but comfort children, because this awakening must stay clear to all. Resist the urge to slow what I'm doing out of fear it will run out. Scarcity doesn't rule my wells. Make more room, build more channels of discipleship and collaboration. In my kingdom, reservoirs get fuller as they're used. At the same time, keep space for rest. Gardens flourish when caretakers sit in the shade and listen. Take time to marvel at blooms you didn't plan. Wonder will keep your heart right as influence grows. Expect new waves. After flowers come fruit, after fruit come seeds, and seeds ride the wind into places you've never seen. Trust that I scheduled every breeze, every rain, every harvest festival ahead of time. Your yes opened this restoration. My yes guarantees it keeps going. Step back into the flow with holy excitement. Every soul that drinks today can become the river for others tomorrow. The world will see that deserts don't intimidate a God who can write gardens into existence with one drop of surrendered love. Look at what's happening inside you. This isn't a fragile hope. It's a strong network growing under the surface faster than criticism can travel. You see petals now, but beneath confidence is weaving through your history, filling empty places that shame once lived in. It wraps around memories where despair used to sneak in. Imagine old rocks splitting open to welcome living roots running deep, holding fast so that cruel words slide off like rain on smooth stone. New roots curl around true promises. Draw in what's needed and send it up until your life shines with durable vitality. People who shook their heads at your dry season will soon find shade under the overflow at your borders. No argument needed, just evidence. And these roots aren't only for you. Each time you exhale gratitude, tiny threads of hope stretch into conversations on buses, at dinner tables and staff meetings, spaces where doubt used to rule. The change adds up. A rumor withers here, a lie runs out of food there, until whole networks of negativity collapse. Storms may still rise, online storms, office drama, family tension, but when they hit this deep root system, they find no grip. The wind only brings fresh air to the soil, and you grow stronger. Some will wonder why their sharp words no longer shake you. It's because you're drawing life from a depth they can't see. You're becoming living proof that outside noise fades when inside certainty rests on eternal springs. Hold this like a lamp. New blooms will attract helpers, ideas, allies, open doors that carry your influence beyond what your eyes can track. Prune distractions quickly. Walk away from arguments built to steal the water meant for growth. Aim your attention at strong branches. Quiet time in my voice, disciplined rest, honest teamwork. Celebrate new leaves, but steward them. Fruit is forming that will feed many. When gossip rumbles, smile without spite. Even storms can water roots that refuse to let go. Your step will grow lighter. Your words will feel buoyant. You will know, really know, that what's taken root can't be ripped out by passing weather. This is hope with history. Hope with strength. Hope still standing long after today's critics forget what they said. Keep watering with thanks. Keep weeding through forgiveness. Keep covering the ground with truth. The harvest ahead isn't seasonal. It's perennial, designed to outlast rumors, outlive doubts, and outshine every gloomy forecast that once tried to write your future. Watch the shift. People who used to judge you through sarcasm will pause mid-sentence when they see your calm hold steady in a world loud with fear. They expected you to sink under scrutiny or to snap back when mocked. Instead, you stand like a quiet lake holding a mountain's reflection, so still that even hard critics feel curiosity crack their certainty. That's my plan. Curiosity is the doorway where revelation enters. As they watch you, they'll notice patterns, how you meet deadlines without panic, how your laughter carries no hidden edge, how generosity flows without keeping score. Those small surprises will tug at beliefs they thought were airtight. Late at night, when applause fades and screens go dark, they'll replay your grace when insult came. Your kindness without agenda, your listening without interrupting. Inside, their compass will start turning toward true north. Some will test you with loaded questions, hoping your calm will crack. But each test will only show them that your roots are tapped into a well they've never tasted. Quietly, a thought will grow. Maybe the Christ they dismissed isn't a myth or a rule maker, but the architect behind the peace they want. Seeds will sprout. Questions long buried under cynicism will push toward light. You may not hear their whispers. If you're real, make yourself known. But I do, and I will answer. Soon they'll trace your peace to me, the prince who authored your settled hope. Some will return with casual small talk. Others will dive headfirst into seeking. Either way, don't change posture. Steadiness is the sermon I'm preaching through you. Let kindness keep its rhythm. Let integrity stay visible when no one watches. Let empathy stand steady under ridicule. Your life is an open journal now, its pages turning in my wind. As they read, the false pictures of me in their minds will be erased by grace. When the tipping point comes and skepticism gives way to possibility, walk beside them, not above them. Remember the patience I had with you. Share the clarity I gave you. Don't gloat over broken arguments. Celebrate growing faith. Make room for messy questions over coffee. Listen, pray softly. Each skeptic who becomes a seeker becomes another light in this growing constellation of redemption, brightening more sky for wanderers still in night. Keep shining. I will do the rest, turning critics into storytellers of wonder. Hearts are softening and ears are tuning to what they once mocked. Where my voice was drowned by noise and doubt, now it's breaking through the static, gentle but clear. I won't shout to prove myself. I whisper because my whisper has power. I will start showing them the plans they were born with, but never understood. Not vague destiny, but specific assignments woven in from the beginning, passions they called random, ideas they treated like daydreams. As I speak, those fragments will line up into purpose. Confusion will melt like mist in morning sun. You will see it in their eyes, the spark when a simple sentence, a scripture, or a quiet moment hits a deep chord, like a song they knew once and finally remember. Their inner world will reorder. Where they planned only to survive, they'll start imagining impact. Where they chased empty praise, they'll look for substance. I won't hand them the whole map at once. I'll lead them step by step as I led you. I'll speak in dreams that won't fade, in timely conversations, in words that feel alive on the page. They will know it's not their imagination. It's me, inviting them into the same close walk that changed everything for you. Don't try to manage their blueprint. What I whispered to you was for your lane. What I whispered to them is for theirs. It might not look like your path. It might stretch your expectations. That's good. I'm not making copies. I'm making originals. They won't always have the words for what they feel at first. That's where your gentleness matters. Be a midwife, not a manager. Encourage without controlling. Advise without taking over. Celebrate their brave steps and be a safe place when they stumble. Some will carry callings into spaces you've never entered. Let that inspire you. I'm not confined to pulpits or feeds. I'm sending people into boardrooms, studios, startups, clinics, schools, city halls, and farm roads. People who once denied me but now burn with truth because I spoke to their spirits. Some will rise quickly. Others will move slowly, stacking small obediences like bricks. Don't compare them. Every path is sacred. Every timeline mine. I finish what I start, just as I did with you. And here's the hidden gift. As you watch me shape wonder through people you thought were unreachable, your own faith will grow again. You'll remember that I waste no life, misplace no purpose, and abandon nothing I design. When they say, I think I'm hearing something but I'm not sure, remind them of your beginning. Tell them the voice they now notice has been calling all along, and the journey is just getting started. That whisper, tailored for them, will carry them into places you've been praying someone would go. When they get there, they'll do for others what you did for them. Help them listen, help them trust, help them run. The next wave has already started. Stay here in the flow and feel what's coming. What once felt like random streams are merging into a strong current too clear to miss. Steps you took, some brave, some shaky, are all pouring into my design. You'll have moments, many of them, when threads that seemed unrelated snap into focus. Jobs you left, cities you passed through, faces that were brief. All of it was woven. As this river widens, you might fear losing your footing. But I've already placed lighthouse moments, simple lights timed to catch your attention, steady your course, and remind you that my eyes never left you. They won't arrive with spectacle, but with clarity. A child's phrase that lands like truth, a lyric that quiets you, a dream that wakes you shaking, a stranger repeating what I told you years ago. They'll appear when you're close to doubting. You won't have to chase them. They're timed to shine right when you need them. With each light, I remind you that you're still in the current, and I haven't missed a turn. Even in night seasons, when emotion fogs your reason, those lights hold their place on your horizon. If you can't see them, you'll start to sense them, a pull in your spirit, a knowing without proof. That's me growing your trust beyond what your eyes can confirm. This is not about avoiding darkness, but walking through it with unwavering aim toward the source of light. The ocean you're headed for is not uncertainty. It is fulfillment. When rivers of obedience and pain and joy and discipline and delay finally reach that place, the sound will be unmistakable. A roar of purpose that silences every lie that said you're late or that you missed it. As you move into this meeting of waters, you will become a lighthouse for others. The light won't be a platform. It will be your presence, your words, your pace. People will see it and cry without knowing why. Others will thank you for guiding them home, not realizing you were simply following the beam I set for you. That is how legacy spreads, not by shouting, but by shining. You've come through narrow waters and rough currents that tried to carry you away. You didn't quit when shore felt far. Now the flow is stronger, the lights are bright, and the wide sea ahead is where every thread of your purpose is being gathered. Watch for the next signal. When it comes, don't stall. Follow the light. It was sent for you. You'll feel something click. What used to be scattered sparks of direction will turn into a clear map. I'm translating vague impressions into simple steps. I'm setting timelines, measures, and milestones better than any plan you've drafted. Where uncertainty camped under the mask of playing it safe, clarity will sweep in like sunrise, exposing fake limits that sounded wise but were sabotage in disguise. The story that said you lack credentials, the math that concluded you're too late, the graph that predicted failure. One by one, these fade under the light of the strategy I'm giving you. You'll feel your mind, will, and emotions stop wrestling and start rowing together. Decisions that froze you last month will click into place like gears finding their groove. I'm giving you decisive momentum, not recklessness, but grounded wisdom in motion. You will write proposals without shaking. You will draft budgets that plan for growth instead of lack. You will set boundaries with kindness that leaves no room for manipulation. And notice this: every strategic piece I give also works as armor. A vision brief becomes a shield against distraction. A prayer-shaped schedule blocks chaos. Accountability acts like a guard who sounds the alarm when pride or exhaustion tries to slip in. This is more than a plan. It's a protected ecosystem that hums with rightness. Your words will change too. Hesitation will fall off, and conviction will rise. Meetings that used to drift will lock onto purpose when you speak. Some who prefer fog will either adjust to clarity or step out. Don't mistake focus for inflexibility. The blueprint I give you can flex when I breathe new variables into it. Hold the plan firm enough to act and loose enough to pivot. Watch how peace walks with you while you execute. Deadlines may tighten, but anxiety will loosen. Negotiations may grow complex, but your pulse will stay steady. Strategy born in my presence carries its own atmosphere. It pushes out panic, installs courage, and oils collaboration. Even those who oppose will sense authority under your actions. Some will resist and find nothing to exploit. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks. From $50 to $100. Others will drop cynicism and ask to partner. Receive both with grace. Your job is obedience, not conquest. The real win happened when confusion lost permission to call itself logic in your heart. Keep building from here. Make the prototype. Gather the team. Allocate the resources. Each brick laid in this design rings with purpose and ends old mental loops for good. Strategy will feel normal now. Guidance honored becomes good governance, and good governance under my authority silences every counterfeit. Feel the air clearing around your thoughts, like a foghorn finally going quiet and the sun cutting through the mist. That feeling is discernment taking root. It doesn't show up as vague brightness, but as precise light that shows the path and the motives. It highlights traps and points to doors I have actually opened. You'll notice the difference right away. Flashy counterfeits that used to pull on you will look dull and empty. Real alignments will hum with quiet authority you can feel in your chest. This discernment is my gift for the season of expanded influence. It's not only intuition, it's a filter from heaven inside you, sifting every invite and idea until only what carries my fragrance remains. Expect quick tests, emails that sound exciting, calls from people you admire, posts shining with offers that look profitable and popular. Pause. Clarity speaks softly, a pinch of unrest, a sudden heaviness, a verse that rises, or a deep exhale of peace. Don't override these signals. Say no without guilt when peace is missing. Turning down the wrong stage isn't losing reach. It keeps your sound pure for the yes that changes lives. Sometimes even good things won't be your things. Honor them and step aside so the right partners can find them. Courageous clarity can disappoint people in order to obey purpose. The year when confusion painted every option the same is over. Now timing matters as much as opportunity. Something can be perfect and still premature. Trust my calendar. If it's yours, it will return when preparation meets momentum. As the fog lifts, creativity will pick up speed. Clutter has been stealing your bandwidth. With it gone, ideas will streak through like comets, sharp, bright, leaving a trail. Capture them. Keep a notebook by your bed. Insight doesn't wait for office hours. Jot frameworks on napkins if you must. Don't polish too soon. Plant first, shape later. Clarity will also sharpen your conversations. You'll catch yourself replacing filler with truth. Meetings that once wandered will become crisp. Some will welcome your new precision. Others may feel exposed. Let responses be what they are. Your task is to speak clear truth in love, not to manage egos. The ones meant to build with you will be grateful for the clean edge. Pair clarity with compassion. When you see manipulation, bless quietly and step away. Don't expose people for sport. I see what you see, and I will handle what you place in my hands. Celebrate clarity often. Gratitude keeps the lens clean. Begin mornings with, Lord, filter my agenda. End nights by noting the small wins, choosing water over gossip, silence over self-promotion, rest over nonstop hustle. These choices carve new pathways, turning occasional clarity into your culture. Soon, you'll look back amazed at how many snares you walked past. snares you didn't even pause to notice. That's what discernment in stride feels like, walking through minefields like meadows, because every step is lit by my lamp. I'm gathering people who match the rhythm of this new clarity, companions whose faithfulness is stronger than convenience and brighter than ambition. They aren't drawn by spotlight or gain. They are covenant keepers I've watched in hidden trials, the mercy they gave when no one cheered, the integrity they chose when shortcuts sparkled, the perseverance they held when exits were open. They passed quiet tests. Now they're coming to stand with you like a living shield, protective but not controlling. Breathe that in. No more performing to hold fragile alliances. No more tiptoeing around egos that break under truth. In this circle, authenticity can breathe. When you move into hard places, their prayers will guard your steps like unseen armor. When critique tries to sting, their words will soften the blow and return your eyes to grace. They won't smother responsibility. They'll ask honest questions, celebrate growth, and gently point out blind spots you can't see alone. Your presence will sharpen them too. Gifts will interlock, strategist with dreamer, healer with builder, prophet with organizer. No one competes. Everyone completes. Expect connections to begin small, a shared thread becoming a brainstorm, a hallway hello turning into a midnight prayer, a referral becoming a lifelong partnership. Don't despise small starts. Oak-level loyalty grows from acorns. Learn the signs, conversations that accelerate insight, silence that feels safe, correction offered with tenderness. Where you sense that mix, linger. Invest. Share stories, set boundaries when I nudge you. Gardens need pruning. I'll show you when to clarify roles, when to rest, when to be alone for a time. True allies honor those cues instead of guilting you for them. I will even allow tension to test these bonds. Miscommunication, different methods, logistics. It's on purpose. Loyalty that lasts is shaped in friction, not agreement. Watch how they act in conflict. Do they seek understanding or victory? Do they guard your dignity when you're not in the room? When loyalty holds under heat, the weld strengthens. At the same time, I will reassign good voices from past seasons who aren't meant to climb the next hill with you. Release them without resentment. Some friendships bloom best at certain altitudes. Bless them and move forward. Your heart has room for gratitude and for what's next. Paths cross again in surprising ways. Celebrate the fruit of this circle. Fresh ideas born at whiteboards late at night. Relief rushing through families touched by your united efforts. Cultural walls cracking because unity in obedience sounds louder than solo brilliance. I will write stories from these partnerships that textbooks won't capture. Prayers whispered in one time zone that prevent disaster for a teammate far away. Supplies appearing right when shared resources seem too small. Every story will repeat the same truth. You orchestrated what we could never plan. Remember, identity anchors loyalty. Your bond isn't made of non-stop agreement, but shared allegiance to me. Keep that vertical line tight and the horizontal lines will stay strong. Meet often in my presence. Laugh easily. Repent quickly. Dream boldly. Give freely. Your circle will become more than defense. It will move like an embassy of heaven's culture, crossing borders that still ache for freedom. Stand in that. Link arms without fear. Watch battlefields tilt toward victory, because unity, seasoned by discernment, stepped onto the field. Inside the safe circle, innovation is reigniting. Not a timid spark, but a roaring furnace. Old sketches, half-finished drafts, shelved ideas you called risky or not the right time are heating up. Fear used to decide what lived or died. Now freedom leads. I am breathing on dormant creativity and turning it into assignment. Not for entertainment, but for impact. You don't have to question if your voice belongs. I've already made space. I'm putting the tool in your hand. Thoughts that seem scattered are snapping into plans, like there was always a blueprint waiting to be unlocked. It's not only the ideas, it's the forms. Scripts, designs, curricula, nonprofits, songs you stop because they hurt to sing. Bring them back. This time you won't create from isolation or insecurity. You'll create from confidence, accountability, and holy fire. Ideas will come in conversations, in worship, even in tears. Capture them. Don't grade them before you greet them. And know this, I'm redeeming failure. What you labeled wasted effort is raw material to me. Feedback, rejection, silence after a brave launch. I'm folding it into the recalibration you needed. Those scars taught you the weight of your gift. Now that weight won't crush you. It will stabilize what I build through you. This wave of creativity isn't about attention. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. It's about stewardship. When creativity becomes stewardship, it shifts from self-expression to transformation. And these ideas are not meant to stay on pages or boards. They are tools and answers wrapped in imagination, meant to move into classrooms, studios, courts, clinics, economies, and more. I'm not keeping you in religious spaces. I'm commissioning you into industries. The sound you release may not echo in sanctuaries, but it will change the air in writers' rooms and boardrooms and school halls. People who ignored you before will seek you out, not because you shouted, but because the power behind your work can't be ignored. It won't just be you. Your circle will catch fire too. One person's breakthrough will give another permission to rise. Collaboration will feel easy because your motives are aligned by purpose, not competition. You'll pour into each other's work without fear of credit. One lyric will spark a film. One study will birth an invention. One poem will unlock a business model. This is Creative Covenant, a preview of heaven's order on earth. Let it burn. Let revival heat melt every old limit that said your ideas didn't matter. You are not late. You are on time because I am lighting the match. What you buried in fear is returning as refined steel, strong, focused, and made not just to make noise, but to make history. Pay attention to the larger shift. This is bigger than one person's comeback. It's a cultural reset. The ideas rising from the furnace of your healing are not just about personal calling. They're meant to pierce strongholds and soften structures that resisted kindness and truth. Places that echoed with cynicism will start sounding like compassion because you released what I placed in you. Watch media, education, fashion, tech, and entertainment. These engines of imagination begin to pivot. Not with loud announcements, but with quiet shifts in tone and values as my spirit moves through what you make. It might start with a phrase that spreads for reasons no algorithm can explain, a character that wakes empathy in people far from any church, a business model that puts people first and gets copied across cities, a design that honors dignity and stands out because it's true. Not trendy. These aren't flukes. They're signals. Culture is responding to the frequency of my heart, and you are one of the transmitters. Expect pushback. Some will call your work naive, too soft, too spiritual. Don't shrink or over-explain. Let consistency speak. Let fruit show. Soon even skeptics will be moved by the slow saturation of redemption in places they thought were sealed. They might not use faith words, but their softened tone, new priorities, and changed choices will witness to what's happening. Love is gaining ground through voices that once felt too broken to speak. Don't chase applause. It fades. Aim for impact. Impact outlives the moment. You may never see the full effect of a lyric, a photo, a children's book, a startup, a podcast you almost didn't record. I see it. I trace each echo from every act of obedience and thread it into a bigger story. A story where climates change without force, but through steady saturation. I'm not asking you to copy the world and sprinkle my name on top. Build differently. Build wholly. Build what reflects heaven's character, where justice is a rhythm, beauty is honored, and truth heals instead of being a weapon. You won't need to shout to be heard. Purity will amplify your voice. Simplicity will cut through noise. Excellence will open doors ego can't. I will send favor in unexpected places. Gatekeepers who never made space for faith will make room for your work without knowing why. I'll give you language that disarms resistance. Merciful, honest, wise. Your work will travel farther than your name. It will cross borders, rise above resistance, and land in the hands of decision-makers you'll never meet. They won't see you coming, but they'll know something arrived. This isn't about conquering culture. It's about healing what was fractured. I'm not sending you to dominate. I'm sending you to reconcile, to restore, to sound like the future that begins with surrender. Go with bold humility. What you carry can shift a generation's climate. Release it with faith, and let compassion sit at the table again through you. Open your heart wider. What I'm pouring through you is not soft kindness alone. It's strong compassion with the power to rescue. I'm stretching your reach so the tenderness I've grown in you becomes shelter for the unheard, unseen, and undone. People will move toward you, not because they fully understand you, but because they feel safe around you. That safety isn't an accident. It's what happens when healing becomes visible, when peace radiates from someone who walked through fire and rain without losing softness. Many are suffocating under secrets, abuse, betrayal, shame, guilt. They smile in public and sob at night. They lead teams while bleeding inside. They can quote hope, but aren't sure it's for them. I'm directing them toward your voice, your work, your presence. Not so you can fix them, but so you can carry warmth long enough for them to come into my light. You are not the healer. I am. But your surrendered life will be a bridge between silence and sanctuary. This is how the net forms. Compassion becomes your cast. It goes out quietly, without force. You won't always see when it catches someone. A short message you send, eye contact in a busy hall, a gentle answer to a harsh word. These are the threads of the net. As you keep extending grace, the net grows. The hidden begin to surface, blinking in acceptance they thought they'd never taste. When they confess what they've carried, don't flinch. Don't look surprised. Listen, hold space, stay calm. Your steadiness proves I don't turn away from the stories they think disqualify them. Shame only stands in secrecy. When compassion meets confession, shame falls. You'll see it. Shoulders drop, words pour, tears cleanse like a second baptism. You won't need a sermon in that moment. You'll need to reflect the truth that they still belong. That quiet assurance will undo knots tied by years of hiding, chains of unworthiness and fear and religious words that never matched their pain will fall. I will pour identity into the hollow spaces where secrets used to live, and you will witness it. You'll see people who once hid in corners begin to lead others into freedom. Voices that once trembled will speak with courage. Don't rush it. It's holy. Be patient with shaky steps the way I was with you. As the net grows, those who were caught will start casting nets too. It won't be obligation, it will be a movement of mercy. Where shame used to be passed down, healing will spread like fire. You'll hear stories, marriages restored, addictions broken, lies unlearned, and many will trace back to something as small as your yes to compassion. You may feel unqualified for this kind of influence. Remember, it isn't yours to control. You're the vessel. I'm the stream. Stay close. Let me refill you often. When stories feel heavy, I will carry you. I won't let you burn out. I'll keep you grounded in joy while you reach into grief. This is how the world changes, not through noise, but through nets cast in quiet strength. Keep casting. I'm not done gathering. Now hear the sound rising like waterfalls gaining volume, full joy breaking loose in you. This isn't polite laughter. It's a river of delight from reservoirs long blocked by condemnation. Yesterday, accusation clanged like rusted iron in your mind, repeating every mistake. I broke that chain and hung wind chimes of grace in its place. Every small hit makes melody instead of shame. Listen, the applause you hear is heaven celebrating your freedom. This joy isn't fragile, it's strong. It can leap walls cynicism built and then bars regret forged. Feel it move through you, bringing oxygen to starved dreams, putting color back into a life that went gray. Conversations brighten because you're not scanning for judgment. Choices lighten because you're not carrying what-ifs. Even ordinary tasks, laundry, emails, fuel stops, glow with the same wonder that turned water to wine. Watch how people respond. Real joy is contagious. A grin in traffic gives relief to a stranger no one sees. Laughter in a tense meeting cuts fog and makes room for solutions. Friends used to your guarded smile will double take at the spark in your eyes and find themselves smiling too. Children who can sense what's real will come close like birds to an open palm. Joy will reach forgotten corners, care homes, clinic waiting rooms, late-night diners, slipping under doors fear kept shut. Joy isn't careless, it's strategic. I'm using delight to fight despair. Every time you laugh freely, a lie loses power. Every light joke becomes a protest song. Every kitchen dance declares that heaviness has an expiration date. Guard the source. Joy survives not by perfect days, but by staying with me, the fountain that never runs dry. When skies darken, feed the fire with memories of my faithfulness. Meditate on promises like bass lines under the unpredictable news. Some will misunderstand and call your joy denial. Love them anyway. Your joy doesn't ignore pain. It proves pain doesn't get the last word. When challenges rise, let laughter partner with grit. Together they compose the sound of overcoming. Share joy on purpose. Host dinners where stories drown out gossip. Open studios where art formed from celebration pushes cynicism off the walls. Write messages soaked in encouragement, even in places that are usually harsh. Volunteer where hope runs thin and bring levity that reminds people they're still allowed to dream. You'll help build spaces where despair can't breathe. Keep the cascade going through quiet mornings, busy afternoons, and midnight stillness. Laugh until your sides ache and tears catch the light. Sing even off-key. The anthem of reclaimed joy travels farther than a perfect silence. Every ripple of your gladness rises like an offering, and I pour more joy down the mountainside of my mercy, an echo of grace from your heart to horizons you haven't seen. Joy has soaked the soil of your imagination. Dormant ideas have become seeds ready to sprout at the touch of expectation. Because hope now hangs on your words like morning dew, speaking will also be planting. A sentence becomes a furrow. A declaration becomes a seed bursting midair. You'll notice it in simple moments. A thought over coffee turns into a workable plan before the cup cools. A joke in a hallway becomes a collaboration by lunch. Vision won't stay locked in late-night journals. It will move as you speak. Because inspiration responds to a fertile atmosphere the way seeds respond to good ground. You'll feel creativity across all senses, ideas in colors, textures, and sounds. So revelation can't be missed. Meetings that once dragged will come to life as others feel the vibrancy around you and lean in. Drawn by purpose they can't fully explain. Don't doubt the speed. This is an accelerated season. Like a time lapse of a flower opening, opportunities will unfold even before you finish speaking. Remember, sprouting is the start, not the end. Tend what grows, prune what crowds, keep notes, set timelines, assign roles. Momentum loves order. I will send partners with skills that match your widening field. Treat their wisdom like irrigation, guiding the flow, not stopping it. Pull weeds fast, side projects that feel urgent but don't move the mission. You'll know them by their lack of fruit. Remove them early, and joy will keep feeding the ground instead of being swallowed by vanity. As dreams take form, apps launched, songs charted, policies drafted, pause to give thanks. Gratitude renews the soil and keeps it rich. Where thanks grows, vision multiplies into fields you never studied. Clean water ideas, trauma-wise art, fair finance. You'll marvel as conversations once stuck in someday turn into action. Sketches become patents, and bullet point prayers become approved plans. Because it's happening in public, people will watch in real time and ask how to move from stuck to flow. Share freely. Teach them that delight wakes up destiny. Creativity isn't for a few. It belongs to anyone willing to host joy. Invite them into spaces where celebration fuels bold thinking. Watch their minds ignite like dry wood under a spark. This is growth without greed, expansion without exploitation, and it will continue as long as you refuse to hoard credit and keep sending glory upward. Hold this truth. You are dreaming with eyes open, not to escape reality, but to rebuild it. Each possibility that rises when your voice vibrates with faith is proof that when joy and purpose meet, the future stops being distant and becomes a garden blooming now, visible, fragrant, nourishing, unstoppable. Your words don't evaporate. They land like seeds in time. A small sentence can carry whole ecosystems that grow long after your lifetime. Think of an acorn with a forest inside it. Each time you say, "We can teach with empathy," or "Clean energy should reach the villages," or "No survivor will walk alone," I lace that sentence with codes of compassion and resilience, waiting for the right climate in years to come. Whole communities will one day trace their stability back to a conversation you almost whispered. Children not yet born will climb branches of ideas you planted while sipping coffee or pacing a hallway at night. Your role is to keep planting with intention and trust. My timing. Resist the urge to dig up sprouts to check progress. Germination is sacred. Tend the process. Speak hope without sarcasm. Declare solutions without hedging. Bless places you may never visit. One bold sentence can cross oceans through quotes, posts, notes, and drafts, landing in the hearts of leaders who will never know your name, but will feel the weight of the seed and care for it because it carries my breath. I'll assign pollinators, mentors, journalists, analysts, travelers who unknowingly carry parts of your words and cross-pollinate ideas in new fields. A farmer in one nation will apply soil renewal that echoes your vision. A playwright will empower survivors because she heard your story secondhand. Lawmakers in a far land will write restoration into law after finding an article that quoted your work. Ripples will gather until a single seed becomes a whole habitat, cooling heated discourse, anchoring endangered values, sheltering diverse creativity. Under those canopies, people will find shade from greed, displaced hearts will nest in branches of restored dignity, and rare species of thought will flourish again. Do not underestimate words carried by faith. They move faster than light through the unseen and arrive at crossroads as remembered lines that give clarity. Use language with care. Cut cynicism, uproot fatalism. Choose words that carry water to dry places. Keep a record of what you've planted, not to boast, but to steward. When tired, read it again and remember that forests are forming where you cannot see. Celebrate small sprouts. A pilot program, a scholarship, has scouts of greater growth. When critics demand harvest overnight, smile. They measure by shopping lists, not by generations. Your vindication will come in grandchildren reciting poems beneath leaves you planted, in economies thriving because long ago someone believed fairness was possible, in ecosystems healing because a young scientist you encouraged pursued renewal. That is the grandeur inside every seed you dare to speak. So keep speaking with gentle courage. Scatter brave acorns over dry ground. My wind will carry them to ready hands, and your legacy will sing through groves of gratitude, moving with breezes your lungs once released. Amen.